Alvin, you joined us in New York a month into your career. Yeah. I think you guys had a really early bye week that year. Yeah. But you had already flashed. You already said, "Oh, this is at least for a better player as a rookie than I thought was going to be coming in the league as a mid-round pick." You're now 3 years in. You've made 3 Pro Bowls. You're a guy who has continued to show your dual threat as a back. What do you think's been the biggest key to your maturation as a player and to your success so early?
Man, I think just ending up in a great spot, being in New Orleans, having Sean Payton, having Drew Brees, having, Mark Ingram early in my career, and just older guys like Ted Ginn to, kind of guide me and help me make that transition from being a college player to a professional player. That's been a tremendous help.
When you were with us, Adrian Peterson was on the team briefly, and you talked about how you have one of the all-time greats in Peterson nearing the end, even though he's had a great time in Washington now. And you also talked about Ingram.
Yeah.
But Ingram, I feel like, didn't really get the national recognition till this year with the Lamar and the big trust, all that. But you gave us a little bit of a window into that. What type of teammate was he, and how much do you think some of your success now as you're approaching being a veteran came from learning from Mark?
Man, I mean, a lot of my success came from Mark. Right from the jump when I came in, he welcomed me with open arms. Made sure I knew everything that was going on. Made sure he, kept me in the loop with, offensive schemes. Like, just had to move in the organization and just everything. He told me to come to him if I ever needed anything, and it was true from day one to, when he ended up leaving. So, definitely appreciative of Mark, and, I always tell him, like, he helped me a lot. It's part of the reason why I was so successful was because of him.
We see so many players come out of the draft, and they're high draft picks, and they get thrown right into the fire, sometimes on not-so-great teams, and there's a lot of pressure on them, and they're forced to play well from day one. You were lucky to have Ingram there as well, like you said. How important was it that all the pressure wasn't just focused solely on you when you got there?
Man, that was a big help. Not only Mark, but I had Adrian also.
Yep, he was there.
In the early part of my season. Both of them, they just told me to be me. I think that was like one of the things when I first got there, I was kind of in my head like, oh, man, I got to do this or do that. They're like, man, just calm down and play. Like, you fine. Like, when your opportunity comes, you'll take advantage of it. They were just like, if I have any questions, ask them, and, just play. Don't think, just play. So
I'm going to come from a different perspective because I get it, going into a locker room, having that veteran leadership and those guys to kind of really rely on, if you will, to kind of guide you. But you were ready to play. Yeah. When your number was called, you were ready. What do you accredit that to? Was it your coaching? Was there a specific coach? The system in Tennessee? Like, what made you so ready when your number was called?
I think it was my college career, just having to transfer and having to, be at the top, go back down and, start over and grind back up, and then, transfer again and end up in Tennessee and, having to prove myself again in Tennessee and, ending up in New Orleans and, just having that same mentality, like, I'm just going to keep my head down and grind and prove myself. And, whatever product ends up on that field, I know that's going to be the best product, and I know it's going to put me in the best situation and be successful. So I think, just being able to come in and work and not worry about anything else that's going on, I think that's what, helped.
Before we talk about the game, I got 2 quarterback questions for you.
Gotcha.
First one, do you think Drew Brees is back next year?
Do I think Drew is back? I think Drew can play as long as he wants to. So, I was just with him at Pro Bowl down in Orlando. Drew, if you're listening, I love you. If you want to come back, come on back. I think he'll be back, though.
Okay, the second part, let's just assume for a moment that Drew decides it's been an amazing career, won a championship, I have all the records, I'm going to retire. Do you guys have without Drew, 1 or 2 starting quarterbacks on the roster absent of Drew Brees?
I mean, we got 2 pretty good ones. We got Teddy Bridgewater, which, I mean, everybody saw what he did this year, and we got Taysom Hill. I think everybody sees what he does game in and game out. So, it's just depending on what, like how things shake out. Both of them are capable, I think.
How tough was it? I think a lot of people thought that this year's Saints team, the way you guys were playing, the path was carved out for you.
Yeah.
And then when you did win, as a fan, it's really hard to process, oh, your team's not in anymore. But as a player, I'm sure you were hearing what people were saying. I'm sure you guys, you understood how well you were playing.
Yeah.
How hard and jarring is it to know when your season ends? knowing you had the tools in place and the right players to get all the way this year?
Man, it's tough. I mean, we've been there 3 years in a row. So, you know, it's hard when, you know, you're tasting it, especially this year. We kind of got, like you said, the path mapped out for us. You know, we feeling good. We're playing well at the right time, and, you know, it just didn't happen for us. But, you know, as a player, it's like you just got to you got to compartmentalize it. You got to shake back and find a way to come back next year even better.
Talk about a little bit about the game you had against a team that is representing the NFC in this Super Bowl, the 49ers. The game you guys had down in New Orleans was a phenomenal game. What did you see in this team that we may not have seen or that the Chiefs may need to prepare for in this game? I
mean, they're obviously a great team, great defense. Offense is explosive. I think they play with a lot of heart. They play together. That's like some of the intangible things that, you know, as a fan watching, you might not see. You just looking for Jimmy G to throw a ball to Butler or, you know, Mostert to get a big run. But those guys play with heart and they play with good energy, you know. New Orleans is a hard place to play in, but they came in and, you know, they had a game plan and they stuck to it. And, I mean, the energy that they had was I mean, it was phenomenal.
All right, I'm gonna drill down on this for a moment because full disclosure, I'm from Kansas City. I know I do this professionally, but I'm a Chiefs fan. I want the Chiefs to win on Sunday. The Niners are a great defense. You guys hung 46 on them. You guys, I mean, that was one of the best games of the season. What was the key to you guys unlocking something offensively against San Francisco that no one else this year really has been able to do? And maybe, and I'm sure Kansas City's watching that film trying to see it. What did you think it was? Why were you guys so successful offensively in that game?
I think we just came in and we had a plan, and, you know, we knew what we wanted to do. We had a great week of practice, and, you know, I think we
Well, what was the plan? What tell it. Come on, you ain't playing again this year. What was the plan? Tell us the plan.
I mean, we knew they had a great defensive front. You know, we knew it was going to be hard to run the ball. We knew we had to get the ball out, try to work their edges, and, you know, just kind of take advantage of, you know, the things that they kind of lack in. And
okay. All right, that's enough. I got it. Yeah, that works.
You got it?
Yeah.
Alvin, when Drew Brees went down this year and Teddy Bridgewater stepped up, you didn't have to place as much pressure on Bridgewater. You all kind of gathered around. Everyone else sort of stepped up, and he was great. And I don't think you lost under Bridgewater this year. Now you look at a guy like Jimmy Garoppolo, where that team is great, and they have a ton of weapons around him, and not a lot is asked of Jimmy Garoppolo except to go out there and maybe not turn the ball over. Is he underrated as a quarterback when you watch him play?
I think, like you said, for that reason, I think he is, because he doesn't have to do a lot. You know, there's a lot of weapons around him. Raheem Mostert does a great job. You know, Tevin Coleman, when he's healthy, he's doing what he has to do. I mean, they got a great receiving core that, you know, they stretch the field and make plays. So, I mean, a lot of the time he's just dumping the ball down and guys are making plays, or, you know, the running backs running, you know, getting great yards. They have a great rushing game. So I think Jimmy G is a little underrated, but, you know, we're going to see Super Bowl Sunday.
You are the first guest we've ever had who's brought their own deodorant to the set, which is interesting. You're
and by
working
the way,
with new old...
Let Jenna afterwards.
What? Oh, please, Nick. Okay. You know, new Old Spice Ultra Smooth line.
Yeah.
Something else. Tell us about it, please.
Man, so Old Spice, you know, I might not be a low-key guy on the field, but off the field, I like low-key smooth scent. So it's ultra smooth, line by Old Spice. I mean, it's great. You know, and we got right here, we got Clean Slate, which is the new antiperspirant. It's also it's dermatologist tested, so great, you know, thing to add to my toiletry bag. So I'm carrying that with me.
Perfect. Awesome, Alvin. Have a great week.
Congratulations.
Enjoy.
Yes, sir.
You deserve every bit of it.
Appreciate that.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.